Okay, so we have here a problem again with a 250 Newton block, which is initially at rest on a flat surface that is inclined at 30 degrees. If the coefficient of static friction is 0.40, find the force P required to start the block moving up the plane. So, straightforward lang kayo. We draw the plane. The angle is 30 degrees. There's a block here. Okay. We just want to move this block upward, okay, by pushing it with force P. Question here is, what will be the force P needed so that the block will start moving up the plane? So first step was draw FBD, the free body diagram. Okay, so if we draw the free body diagram, what are the forces acting on the block? We have P, we have what else? Weight. Let me change color. So we have weight, we have downward, supposed to be downward, force P along the incline. What else? We have normal, normal force perpendicular to the incline, and we have friction. Haman paingon ang friction? Well, friction is directed, always directed towards where? Opposite to the motion. So friction will be directed towards that, no? Or let me transfer the P. Ako i-transfer ang P sa taas para medyo sayon lang. So maging ani siya. So ako lang iset nga ang P, ako na lang i-pull diri pa sa taas para yan lang. Then friction will be towards the left. Okay, friction. Okay, so in this case, if we want the block to move, just basically move up, ang idea na dapat is, dapat ang kaning force, ay force P of F, simply the sum will be initially 0. Ma-0 lang, mabalance lang sila. Basically, the block will now start moving upward once the force is balanced. Okay? Ang kuan lang dari karon is how do we find F? Okay? Ay dili di ay napamanday tay component sa weight paghihapon. So we balance everything forces along x. So ang idea na is summation of forces. We take this as our positive x-axis. Okay? Ikaw nang bahala asa mong positive. So summation of force along x must be equal to max. And in this case, if the block will basically just start the block to move up the plane, meaning equal lang yun siya, nag-equal lang ang mga forces, meaning 0 ang acceleration. Pero initially, nag-move lang siya, constant lang bali ang iyahang movement pataas, meaning ang acceleration kay 0. So in that case, must be equal to 0. Okay? So weight is given, normal force to be calculated also. First, let us try to solve for the normal force. Anong kailangan to ang normal force? Kailangan mo na siya to solve for friction. So friction, in this case, static friction, is just equal to mu s times normal force. So mo nga kailangan to may bawaan kung ilang normal force. How do we solve for the normal force? Well, we resolve the forces in components. Okay? So along x and along y. So let us draw the axis. Shall we say mo na to ang x-axis, mo na ang ato y-axis na siya na. Y-axis mo na ang ato ang ito lang ibalhin ba mo na nga to ang x-axis dani. Okay? X-axis. Okay, so what are the forces acting along summation of forces along y must be equal to 0. Also why? Because dili man na mag-jump ang imuhang imuhang block. It will not move along y, so 0. What are the forces? We have upward positive, Taingon dana is positive. So we have forces, we have normal force minus naman ni component na imuhang kuan, ani component imuhang wait, medyo dili siya klaro no kay ang block man gud kung drawingon nimo ingon ani, medyo dapat medyo malibog ka pero kung i-draw nimo siya nga ang block gamon gyud nimo point na lang, I think mas sayo. Mag-ana bitaw nga idea. Okay, so nara imuhang block diri din. Gagmay lang dayon kayo forces imong problema. Okay, so atong i-redraw. So anam do diba along kuan weight. So kanay mo ang weight na siya component along y o along x. Okay, so mo ni ang atong gina-term na to as kana ba weight y component niya sa y. So how do we solve that? Wy downward man na siya no kay daani man na siya. So pila man na siya? Well, kabaluta na kung 30 degrees ni diri, 30 kabaluta nga kani siya 60 kay 180 man ang tibok triangle. Okay? So 180 man na. So kung 30 ni siya, 60 ni siya. Okay? So kung 60 ni siya, pila man ni imuhang kwan diri? 30 ni siya bali pod nga angle. Okay? And therefore, along y, okay, 30 degrees man dayon na siya. What is y component? W cosine 30. Okay? W cosine 30 degrees. So I think medyo ang uban kay di sila ganahan og cosine pero mas i-prefer na ko ang mga cosine compared sa sine. So ingon ana, i-draw lang gid mo og tarong. 30 degrees ang angle, then makita nimo dana nga WY simply anong negative na siya? Kay downward man na. So wala na lain force ga act along y. So therefore this must be 0 and therefore the normal force is equal to weight cosine 30. What is weight? Well, I think we're given that the block weighs 250 newtons. So that's 250 newtons times cosine 30 and I think we have a value of 216.51 newton. 216.51. Okay? Mo na ang imuhang normal force. Now, back to the equation. Now we go now to the summation of forces along x. So along x, unsa man kay ang force gaak? We have friction. One is friction. Also we have the component along y. So anyway, summation of force along x. So to the right is positive, upward is positive, or inclined upward. So forces acting will be first we have P positive minus friction in which we know what is what ato na sa ibutang no friction dayon minus the x component of your weight. So this must be equal to 0. Okay? Now, what is friction? In this case, we know friction to be mu n, mu sn. So 0.40 times normal, which is 216.51. So we have that 0.40 times the previous answer will be 86.60. So 86.60 minus the weight, x component of the weight. So if the weight, this is the weight, x component niya kay magdraw lang ka diha og ano, right triangle. Dayon makuha na din nimo kung pila yang x component. How? Kabalo ka nga kani is 60, right? So the weight along x will be kana nga component wx will just be libog no. Nalibog na ko pagsulat but anyway that will be w cosine 60. 60 maning angle dana sa kuan. So w, what is w? Well, that no wx is w cosine 60. So w is 250. So 250 times cosine 60, 125. So minus 125 is be equal to 0. Therefore, P now will then be equal to 125 plus 86.60, 211.6. Oh, supposed to be ang nakuha na ko no kay 211.6. Mao ni ang force kailangan para ang imuhang ang force gaak sa imuhang block karon kay essentially ma-balance na tanan or ang imuhang block move na upward. But why is it that wala daan sa choices? Let me check. Based on our analysis, I think murag mo na gid ni siya ang answer dayon kuan lang na nagkamali lang siguro ta pagkuan. Murag kani kung ma-point 3 ni siya dapat na daw answer daan. But anyway, mo na siya ang answer na to 211.6 newton. So the force P needed para ang ma-counteract bali nimo ang frictional force, okay? Nga ang block barely move na siya, mas makasugod na siya move upward. Okay, so that's the idea. Thank you.